Sounding it. Yeah, I mean the mana base is just more sound in the Robopod deck. But I remember the Robopod deck mana base being awkward too until we realized how important the Dark Slicks were. See, Chalice and Chains 3.9. Honestly, it deserves to be a 4 because this deck is just so widely different from where we left off. What? It deserves to be because it's a new horizon for the deck. It really is such a large change. Usually when I make a large change, I don't just up the decimal. I usually up the first digit. If it's a substantial change, this is a substantial change. We've completely changed the mana base. So let's reconsider, reevaluate Tabernacle and Wasteland. I really like Tabernacle in this deck. But we don't have room for all these utility lands. We'll have to make a choice. I think Crucible gets a little worse now that we don't have. It's still really important for the intuition piles, though. We used to main deck a Deluge, by the way. I might go back to that instead of DAC or Chains. I might go back to main deck Deluge as a one-of. So I need to choose. I like Buried Ruin because it's faster. Academy Ruins takes longer. And it's colorless, which works better with the soul lands. Call me crazy, you know a lot of people are gaga over Academy, but Buried Ruin's faster. It gets the job done faster. I'm not really an Enchantress guy. There's another streamer that does Enchantress. ChAlice, thanks for the follow. So let's see what other lands we can cut. We just need to get some number. It doesn't need to be the full playset in this particular list. But I feel like the color requirements, I've set a higher bar for this deck, so maybe it does need to be the playset, and I need to let go of the Tabernacle and the Waste. Yeah. I'm going to miss those cards. We'll put them back if I find that the mana base can handle it. I'm going to miss that card, but I feel like the Dark Slicks, again, the primary color combination of the deck just seems to need a little oomph. It just, every time we were like, man, we just need one more black, man, we just need one more blue. Dark Slick's going to fix that situation right up. Should fix it up. Excuse me. Should. There's a difference between will and action. You know. Should. It's hypothetical. Intuition's here. Chalices are here. There's a difference between will and should. I'm excited though about the changes, and like we're not losing anything by playing with some last-minute changes because. We did cut red, says AJ. You could. You lose the slaughter games, which is really hilarious. Omni is just a joke when we sideboard because you just name Omni. And as long as you can, you know, compensate for the fact that they run 2 young Pyromancers. Like basically what I like to do is I like to slaughter games the Omni, and then when they try to young Peasy, you force the Peasy. If they young Pyromancer. If the young Pyromancer before, I've actually ambitiously forced young Pyromancer, and then my opponent's like, okay, well that resolves, that's fine. And I was like, okay. So you counter the Pyromancer because they're like, oh, well I'm still an Omnitel deck. And then you intuition for the slaughter games during that end step after you've countered the why don't you drop Furnace back down to 3 and add Tabernacle, says Angel. You could. You could. And the reason being, Angel, would be because we're not an affinity list like Bugpod, or like, I am going to miss that Tabernacle. I like Tabernacle Stasis way more than I like Wasteland Stasis. You know, maybe we could get away with only 3 or 2 Furnaces. The Tabernacle is super sweet, super spicy. It is. It really is amazing with stasis. It turns stasis into a sweeper in some situations. So if you think about the deck that way, you know, you've got 5 sweeping effects. If you have the Tabernacle, you've got Rowbolt, you've got Ensnaring Bridge, Engineered Explosive. I mean, we're talking about removal. We're talking about for creatures. Is Darkslick better than UC? It is if we're not going to run a fetch land, a mana base, Rising Morningstar. Tezzeret can tutor the Furnace Angel. It can. I like a 3-up because we're Intuition deck. Some games you won't want the Mox Opal, but it'd be nice to tutor into the Furnace if you need a red source. I like 3-ups, especially in... You could argue that the Vault could get cut to 3 as well, even though it sounds crazy talk. And that would be to incorporate the Wasteland, because Wasteland plus Crucible is awesome in the really grindy matchups. I don't know if it's right. That's true, we're not an affinity list. We're only just trying to make sure we hit enough affinity for the Mox. I mean, technically, I mean, we're not an affinity list, we're a Metalcraft deck. There's a difference between the two. You know, for that reason, I don't like Mox as much. We're going to run a 3-up. And the reason is because it's Legendary, 1. 2, we're not as artifact-based as the other deck we've brewed. Let's bring back the Wasteland. I don't think I'm going to bring back the Academy Ruins, though. I used to run 3 Mox Opals, or Mox Diamond. What is the intuition power for getting Tabernacle in play? Crucible, Tabernacle. Oh, Tibble, you would do Crucible, Tabernacle, and then probably Wasteland. Because Tabernacle works really... Add the 4th Leyline, says Angel. I like that. I like it a lot. I like it. I like where you're thinking. And then we get a sideboard slot. There you go. Now you're talking, Angel. Give me one more spicy sideboard. Give me one more. I can't get another Deluge into the list. Can enter tapped if we have too many lands. You just sequence it properly, Risen. Darkslick wants to be the first land you play. City wants to be the last land you play. They actually work just fine, Risen. We haven't had any trouble with that particularly in the other Darkslick deck we're playing. Where is it? Oh, you know what? No. I remember why we were running Darkslick. Shoot. Thank you, you reminded me. The reason we were running Darkslick in the Potterator deck was because sideboard Arcane Labs' Firecracker. Now you're talking. It's either Arcane Lab or it's... No, we will run 2 Underground Seas and a Volcanic. No, I'm right there with you. Or you could do a split of Underground. I mean, like, you could do a split if you wanted to get a little fetch landy. I mean, when I'm running a Crucible, I do like to go to fetch lands. What if we went, how can we fit that in here? I don't know if I can. I mean, but then you're going down on your artifacts for the Mox Opal. Not Lab Sphere of Resistance. You had a choke. Why not 4 Opal? Because we don't always have the Affinity amp, or Metalcraft, excuse me, in this case. We don't always have it. There's 2 people still playing. Planar Void. River of Tears. Underground Badlands and Volcanic is a 1-of. Says Angel. We have a lot of blue Angel. I'd rather go Underground Volk, Underground. I mean, if you're worried about... I mean, it's not like we're a brainstorm deck. It's not like... I'm only a Jace deck after post board. The fetches aren't too terribly important. This seems fine. This feels weird to run them without the fetch, but I understand what you're saying. I understand why the Dark Slicks are better in the other deck, where we should just run duels in this one. Makes sense. It does make sense to me. And I don't wanna stop. How much is Planar Void? Kind of seems weak to run Opal if you're going to get a consistently turn 2 Metalcrafts as amp. Yeah, you could go back to Opal. You could go back to Mox Diamond. I mean, this one might just want to be a Mox Diamond deck. I don't know. I was just trying it in theory. I don't like that Mox Diamond makes you discard. We're less, I mean, maybe that's where I'm crazy and we're less of a, and I can't get away with, like, if you're going to run Mox Diamond, you need to run 25 land is the problem. I am running Crucible Amp. Yeah, it's just a one-of though. No, it's not. You could get those lands back. I don't know. It was working with the Bug Pod deck, so I was excited and I wanted to try the Opals in this list and cut down on having to run so much land and instead run artifact lands, but it doesn't seem like it's cooperating like it does in the Bug Pod deck. Is Crucible only for City of Traders? What are you talking about, Spiral? Crucible does so much in this list. More than that, Spiral. Like, it allows you to make really spicy intuition piles, first of all. No, it's close. It is close. We need to think about what we want to do. If we want to continue to try to make it the Metalcraft meta base, or we want to make it the... let's do an artifact count, first of all, and then I'll decide from there. Because I think the artifact count is just dangerously low to be playing as much as I want to try it. We should probably be back on the Mox Diamond plan. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's not enough. I'm changing my mind. So we'll still run the one of seat for Tezzeret Stasis Lock. Absolutely. But I'm going to switch back to Mox Diamond because we know that it works. We've tested it. We've proven it. I'm not too upset. So the only innovation that we're making in this version is just that we've decided to main deck the Helm combo in addition to the Stasis. Just fine. We'll come back to this. My match started. Yeah, I have 3 white sources, Happy Trees. Seems wrong, dude. I've never seen this guy before. This guy's another new guy. BWG. I don't remember. Does he like to play Modern? Nothing. I know nothing about this guy. This is a turn 2 ChAlice hand, and it doesn't do much else. I'm gonna mulligan it. This hand, on the other hand, does stuff. Keep. Please be Dredge. That'd be sweet, right? We're also on the draw. You could have kept that last hand because we're on the draw, but it has the Helm in hand, which is kind of like... It's not that great, and it doesn't have the ley line in the opener.